Hi, my name is Sheila Hill and I'm a life coach and a spiritual guide. Welcome to my channel. I just wanted to pop on today. It is February the 12th with a little bit of an energy update as to what you may have been experiencing, what we've got in store for the next little while, and perhaps how you can make the best of each experience as it's being presented to you, to align to your best and highest good and to stay sort of on plan with your own individual ascension timeline. So, 2020, I know personally for me, it has come in like a tsunami. I have gone through a number of varying different physical symptoms. Fortunately, a lot of the mental and emotional clearing has already happened for me. So we're at the last stages where I'm personally integrating higher vibrational frequencies within the body, and the body is converting from a carbon-based DNA to a crystalline-based. So it's been aches and pains and days where I just couldn't get out of bed and lots of baths. And even at one point, my eyes were going through an upgrade. I went about 2 to 3 weeks where it just hurt to look through my eyes. There was no conjunctivitis or pink eye or anything going on. It just literally, when I was seeing through my eyes, they just hurt. So I was sort of keeping things dim and keeping quiet and staying off screens or taking lots of breaks. Seems to have cleared, which is great news. And you know, the mindset in which you go into these types of ascension symptoms is so important because it really is an exciting time for us to be here. I know it doesn't always feel that way, but when you really sit back and acknowledge the magic of what is actually happening individually, in our own experiences, to our friends and family, and then when we look it out onto the collective, it really is miraculous. So I choose, because we have choice, to not sort of be in that victim-y space of, oh, poor me, my back hurts or my knees hurt or I can't see out of my eyes today. I look at it from the perspective of, this is proof that I am ascending, that I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be, and that the plans are moving forward. I haven't been lost or forgotten, and I didn't take a left turn when I was supposed to take a right. So I prefer to call them proofs. I encourage you to be the same. Okay, so that's sort of just what's been going on with me, because I know I haven't done any videos or any lives in a long time. There's just been a lot going on that has required a lot of nothing from me, a lot of surrendering and a lot of being and a lot of self-care and self-love, just to support my body and my soul and my energy through the transitioning phases that it's been going through. Okay, so we just had, well, it's negotiable as to whether it was a super full moon, but it was definitely a potent full moon just this past weekend. And then it felt like yesterday the energies just shifted. It just felt like, like I was just like, oh, I'm here. Like it felt so great yesterday, and it's feeling very light and expansive and clear today as well, which is beautiful, because full moons are supposed to create a release so that we can integrate these higher vibrational lights and light codes that we're receiving. So it definitely did its job. What we've got coming up next is, as far as the moon topic goes, we have 3 more full moon supermoons coming up in a row. Now, what is a supermoon? A supermoon from an astrological or an astronomical, I can't say that word, from an astrological perspective is that the planet, where planet Earth is and the moon is that the moon is actually in its closest proximity to the Earth that it could possibly be. So the energy created by that affects the Earth and then affects us is more potent. It's not as potent as an eclipse, but it is more potent than a regular, sort of what you would call a normal full moon. So we have another one coming up on March the 9th, full moon, supermoon. We have another one on April the 8th, and another full moon, supermoon on May the 9th. So very rare, and again magical, that we have this alignment being presented to us where we have, 4 supermoon full moons all happening in a row. Everything that I've heard about the energies of 2020 is that we are going to literally come out the other end of it, individually and as a collective, having shifted so far that, and so much, that it's going to be somewhat unrecognizable to us what we started with in 2020, individually and as a collective, and where we end. And that it's actually going to almost be broken down into like 3 or 4, what we would feel like 3 or 4 years worth of stuff, all within the 1 year. So by the time we're looking at early spring, mid-May, we will have gone through a significant energetic transformation. And a lot of that transformation, or you could say all of it, is for our best and highest good. But whether we go through it kicking and screaming, or whether we go through it actually listening to what our inner universe, our inner guidance system and our guides is trying to tell us, that again, choice is up to you. So these moon phases will bring with it opportunities for us to really let go and release our belief systems, our behaviors, people, jobs, belongings, material items, whatever it is that is no longer serving who you are becoming, and let them go. Let them go. I know that the ego kicks up a story that it's scared, and what if it doesn't get replaced, and what if I don't get another job, and what if I don't find another partner, and I know that that's how the ego begins to keep us stuck by sending out these thought loops. But that's when you have to dip into your heart and dip into your faith and know that everything that is ever being presented to you and for you in your life is to move you forward into the most expanded, loving, divine version of yourself. So it's going to take a little bit of courage and a lot of bravery to get through the next 4 months or so. And I almost don't like using the word get through. This is an adventure. I have been through a lot of stuff in my ascension process in the last few years, and I know that every day doesn't feel like rainbows and unicorns. I completely get it. I'm supporting a number of clients through various forms of unraveling that has happened within their own lives that we know is going to be moving them into their most divine, abundant, expanded aspect of themselves. But sometimes people need support, and that's perfectly fine. So that's going to be coming up, along with the new moons in between. And now we are also about to move into a Mercury retrograde. I wrote the dates down. February 17th until March the 10th, we will be in a Mercury retrograde. Now, we have all become wiser and more experienced and more understanding of the fact that Mercury retrograde does not mean oh, Mercury retrograde, now my life's going to be a disaster for 3 weeks. Mercury retrograde provides us a slowing down of the energy. It's all about the in retrograde. It's about review, reevaluate, rethink, relook at, revisit, reconsider who you're being, how you're showing up, what you have in your life materially, who you have in your life, who the actors and players are in your life, your partner, your job, your friends, where you hang out, what you listen to, what you do. It's really about a process of allowing you to release with the moon and then go into the Mercury retrograde where you really just pay attention. Pay attention to the energies that you expose yourself to and the energy that you project. It can sometimes cause glitches in technology. It's advised that if you're signing any major contracts during the retrograde period that you really go over it with a fine-tooth comb. There's other things. Sometimes there's solar storms during a Mercury retrograde that can affect us physically. There's lots of sort of pinpoint pieces of information, but the overall riding effect that Mercury going into retrograde has on us is that it is about slowing down and revisiting every single thing that we interact with, and we really feel into our own inner resonance. Which brings me to the third and last point that I wanted to share on this energy update is we are becoming more and more energetically aligned and less physically aligned throughout this ascension process. It's not that this is something necessarily new, although to some extent it is. It is us becoming a higher vibrational being so that we can tune into the energies around us and feel more. This energetic space in 2020 and beyond is really more about feeling than it is about thinking. It's about allowing our heart and our inner guidance system to be our compass for how we move forward every day. It's no longer being driven by the mind that says, this is what I eat every morning, this is what I eat for dinner, I eat, whatever. Or I exercise a certain way, or I drive to work a certain way, or I spend time with this certain person every week. Those types of behaviors that are very tied into programming and regular practice and behaviorally almost like addictive, like if you don't do it, it feels weird. That's all ran from the mind in order to keep life safe and predictable. And what we want to do through the ascension process is learn that by living our lives through our heart, we are actually more safe and more aligned than we ever could be by navigating life through our mind space. So begin to watch what your body as a consciousness and what your inner guidance system, your gut, your intuition, your guides, however it is that you communicate with that more expanded version of yourself, start to pay attention in every now moment as to what it's telling you. Most of you are at the point now, I would imagine, where you know when it feels like a thud within your body and when it feels like, oh, that sounds great. And just that little nuance, that if you pay attention and watch for it, it is actually guiding you to your best and highest, most abundant expression of self. So if you plan to spend time with someone 3 weeks in advance, and then a couple of days before you're thinking about those plans and your body does that thud, then that's really just telling you that your resonance with that person for that particular time is no longer in alignment. It's not a judgment. It doesn't mean you can't spend time with them another time. It doesn't mean they're wrong, you're wrong, it's bad, it's not bad. There is no judgment around this. That's judgment, and making decisions from that space is all ego-based. What I'm trying to allow you to begin to explore is when you move through your life from a space of energetic resonance and dissonance, there is no story. There is no judgment. There is no, oh, well, their feelings will be hurt, or I never liked her anyway, or whatever. There is no story. There is either resonance within the body, that yes, this feels good for me in this next now moment, or dissonance, which is that thud, that tells you that this is not where you're supposed to be, who you're supposed to be with, what you're supposed to be consuming. It is the most potent, most valuable tool we have, and yet it's the one thing that we really need to learn, like a muscle, to really start to pay attention to. So during this retrograde period and beyond, know that there are probably going to be some people from your life that perhaps have slipped out of your day-to-day that might come knocking back. Experiences that you maybe stopped doing or looking at might come back. It's all that revisit, reevaluate, etc. That can happen during a retrograde, but also just pay attention during this slowed down period. If you plan to have whatever for dinner, like a chicken breast or something for dinner, and then it's getting close to dinner time and you're thinking about having that chicken breast and you feel that dissonance, that thud in your body, then your body is telling you that that's not what it wants to be consuming right now. if you walk into a room and there's a particular television show, possibly even the news, on, and you feel that sort of contraction, that thud, that dissonance within your field, then it's telling you that you are not supposed to be, it's not in your best and highest good, it's not healthy for you, it's not aligned for who you are becoming, to be in engagement with that energy. So really play with this. There is no right or wrong. You can't do it wrong. But really just explore for the next little while what your body cues are really telling you about the energy that you are experiencing and engaging with. So that can be everything, everything and anything. That's the food you eat, the soap you use, the clothes you wear, what you consume on social media, through mainstream media, through television programs, people you spend time with, your partner, your job, how you drive to work. Everything is energy, and you are energy, and you are being shown in every moment. If there is a resonance, which means it feels good, you can lean into it, you feel expansive, you feel safe, it feels nice. Or there is a dissonance, which is sort of a more contracted feeling. It's that ickiness in your gut. Maybe it's a bit of a headache when you listen to certain things. You are being shown how to operate yourself through your life, through this guidance of your inner resonance and dissonance. So pay attention. I think that's everything I wanted to share for you. I will hopefully be back with more information, but in the meantime, self-love, self-care, and self-compassion is so incredibly important right now, more so than you've ever done before. Hydrate yourself with good quality water, more than any average human would ever normally have to do. This is a whole new playing field. You really need to support your system, support your heart, support yourself, and then whatever is left over you use to help others. Much love to you all. Please feel free to connect or comment in the comments below. I will see you all soon. Bye for now.